Hey, it's me, the guy on your phone or computer or something, and I'm actually going to teach you some magic this time. This is actually magic where I actually teach you magic. I'm going to start off with the only math trick that I like. Not the only one, but the name of this video is the only math trick I like. So, here is the only math trick I like. You're going to need a deck of playing cards. For this one, I'm using blue dragon backs just because I haven't used these in like 4 years. And after this video, I probably won't use them for another 4 years. But here they are. Red cards are blue instead of red, which is pretty nifty. I don't know if you can tell, but these are really old cards. Pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. So I'm just going to show you how it works first, then we can go through it. First, you're going to want to mix it up some. Just mixing it up so it looks like a random deck you may find if you're out somewhere and someone just is like, hey, I have playing cards. It's a really cool one just to do. It's super easy. It requires almost no work because it's a math trick. That's all it is, but it's still super fun. Most math tricks are horrible. Absolutely terrible. Don't want to do them. I want them to get away from me. Stay very, very far away from me. But this one is different. The reason I hate most math tricks is because it always starts off with like, oh, think of a number. Now add 2. Now subtract your original number. And let me think the number you have left. Let me think, is it 2? What? It is? Wow. Oh my goodness, it was 2. Some people find them interesting. Not me, and not most people. So this trick is able to avoid most of those tropes, however. So we're going to go through it once, okay? Watch this. Get ready for this. So here it is, all right? Here's a deck of cards. I'll be my own volunteer. Okay, I'll be myself and my volunteer. I'm gonna take the deck, I'm gonna tell, myself to cut it in half. Once it's been cut, pick up the next card. It's the 3 of clubs, all right? So we're gonna take that number and we're gonna tell ourselves, because again, only one person right now. We're gonna tell ourselves, multiply by 5, all right? It doesn't matter what the numbers is always. This works for any card. As long as it's a number card, it has to be a number card. So that's what you just say. You say like, oh, keep throwing away cards, look at a number card. So the 3 times 5 is 15. All right, 15. So we have a new number now, 15. This card can just rest back here too while the trick is taking place. It's supposed to rest there on the pack. Cool. Again, the magician has not seen it. They're just telling all these things. So they say 15, boom. Next step, add 5. So it's times 5, then plus 5. So right now, because of the 3, we're at 20. Then next step is doubling it. So 20 times 2 is 40. Perfect. Then after that, most important step, we say subtract 4. There is a presentation here, but I don't like it. So if you're watching this to do a magic trick, just come up with your own presentation. That's kind of the coolest thing you can do, because in the trick, you own it more. This is just the mechanics. So 40 minus 4 is 36, and this is the part that I like. You can say 36, interesting number that you arrived at, and you turn over the top 2 cards. And there you have it, 36. I don't know if you can see that very well, but actually, here we go. Woohoo, zooming up. 36. So I just like the ending, because it's not like, oh, we get down to one standard number. It's like this number could have been anything on the top. I mean, it couldn't really have been, but in their mind, it could have been anything. Unlike, oh, you're finishing at 2. So how does it work? How does it really work? Well, you just say that. You have to do times 5 plus 5 times 2, or doubling it. And then here's the only part that takes a little bit of work. When you have the deck, if you're shuffling it up, or if you're just handed one, you just have to look at what the top card is. So in this case, it was a 6. There are lots of, like, ways to do with sleight of hand, to like just look at the top card without anyone seeing, or you can just, look, like actually fan through it. It doesn't take a whole lot of work, just a little bit of distraction, being like, oh yeah, just cards are mixed. Then you've seen the top card. So in this case, it was a 6. Let's say instead it was a 5. In that case, the very last step isn't subtract 4. It would be subtract 5. Because 10 subtract 5 equals 5. Just like 10 subtract 4 equals 6. You want to get the last number to equal the value of the card. Again, this can't work with face cards. There cannot be a face card on top, and there can't be a 10 on top either, because it doesn't really work with a 10. So if you fan through and you see like, oh no, there's a jack on top, just do like that. Just give the deck a nice little cut. It doesn't have to be anything complex. And get a new card on top. Then make sure that's a good card. If it's not, just keep going. No one will care. All the steps in total, here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get their number. Let's say they picked a 4. You want to do 4 times 10 to get the 4 in the tens place. How you get in the tens place, because we don't multiply by 10, you do times 5 and times 2. That equals times 10. The reason for the plus 5 in the middle is to add 10, because the plus 5 is done immediately prior to the times 2. Really, all in all, that's the whole effect, but to make it cool, to make it seem more of a magic trick instead of just basic math, you have to include the other card. So then you have the number times 10 plus 10. So if the card is 4, you have 50. If the card is 8, they have 90. It's just how that works. Then the last step, the subtracting a number. If the top card is a 3, you have them subtract 7. If the top card is a 7, you have them subtract 3. And it seems a lot more impossible than just the basic math trick. And that's why I like it more. It kind of subverts your expectations, which is just why I think it's a really niche, simple trick. There are a lot of simple tricks out there, a lot of things you can just look up and learn and just like, oh yeah, here, you know, original number plus 2, subtract original number equals 2, and it doesn't really hit as hard. And this, while still a math trick at heart, it delivers a little more of a powerful punch. Enough so that I'll still occasionally use it to show somebody when I'm performing serious magic. And although it doesn't really have a high like, whoa reaction, most people are still pretty impressed just because it's very hard to retrace it in your mind. So yep, so that's the effect. I'll be back doing more of these, so it's actual magic this time, with perhaps some more fun joke magic sprinkled in the mix, just because, you know, it's fun. Subscribe. Here's a little fun freebie just tacked on at the end here. If you have out your phone, an iPhone, on the calculator, if you do like 25 plus 0 times, then you can just type in any numbers and be like, hey, I bet you that like 3 times 27 is just 25. And they're like, what? No, you can do like 3 times 27 equals, it says 25. It's not really, so you can find some practical uses maybe, but it's just, I just find it kind of just a neat thing. Anyway, bye.